mud, blood, and the terrible cold. War is not glory. War is the sound of a man drowning in his own lungs while the frost turns red around him. We marched all night, the Legion, the finest killers in the colonies. We were hungry, our eyes grit with sand and lack of sleep. But Tarleton drove us on. He smelled blood. He wanted Morgan's head. We reached the Cowpens at dawn. It was a ghostly place. Trees standing like skeleton fingers against the grey sky. We saw the rebels waiting. They looked like scarecrows. "Form line," the sergeant screamed. We advanced. The cold air bit our faces. Then the first crack of the rifles. It wasn't a volley. It was assassination. The man beside me, Captain Ogilvy, his head simply snapped back, gone. The rebels weren't fighting like soldiers. They were hunting us like deer. They shot the officers first. The men who tell us where to stand, where to fire, they just dropped. Confusion began to spread like a sickness, but we pushed on. The militia in front of us fired once, twice, and then ran. "They're breaking," someone yelled. "Get them! Kill the dogs!" The bloodlust took over. We broke our lines. We didn't march anymore. We ran. We screamed. We wanted to end it. We wanted to sleep. We chased them over the ridge, convinced the battle was won. God help us. It was a lie. We crested the hill, lunging forward, our chests heaving, and found ourselves looking down the barrels of the Continental Army. I saw the flash. I didn't hear the sound. The man in front of me vaporized. The volley tore through us like a gale wind made of lead. The 71st Highlanders, giants of men, fell in heaps. And then the nightmare truly began. The smoke was thick, choking us, and through the smoke came the horses. Cavalry from the right. Great beasts, foaming at the mouth, sabers swinging down to cleave skulls. We were crushed together, pressed so tight we couldn't lift our muskets. The screams were everywhere. Men begging for quarter, men crying for their mothers. Then the militia, the ghosts we thought we had banished, returned on our left. We were in a box, a coffin. I saw Tarleton, our invincible leader. He looked at the carnage, turned his horse, and rode away. He left us. It wasn't a battle anymore. It was an abattoir. I dropped my musket into the bloody mud. I fell to my knees. The glory of the Empire, it lay in the dirt, frozen and broken. The air was brittle, cold enough to snap iron. It is the morning of January 17th, 1781, in a clearing in South Carolina known only as the Cowpens. The fate of a nation is holding its breath. General Daniel Morgan rides the line, the old wagoner. His back is scarred from 500 British lashes given years ago. Today, he intends to return the favor. He looks at his men. They are a patchwork quilt of rebellion, leather-clad frontiersmen with long rifles that are taller than a man, Continental soldiers in blue coats, shivering but steady, militiamen, terrified, thinking of their farms and families. "Boys," Morgan shouts, his voice cutting through the frost, "just give me two fires, and you can go home heroes." On the horizon, the sun spills red light over the trees, and out of that bloody sunrise comes the Green Dragoon, Banastre Tarleton, the Butcher. His legion is a machine of war, confident, arrogant, and hungry. They see the Americans standing in the open field, backed against a river with nowhere to run. They smile. They think it is a slaughter. But they do not see the trap. The British dragoons charge, hooves thunder against the frozen earth. They expect the militia to run, but the militia does not run, not yet. They raise their rifles. They aim not at the men, but at the gold epaulets of the officers. Crack! A sheet of flame erupts from the trees. Saddles are emptied. Horses scream. The first line of British officers is wiped from the earth in a heartbeat. The militia fires again. Crack! Then, as ordered, they turn and run. To the British, this looks like victory. They are breaking, Tarleton screams. The cowards are fleeing. Run them down. The British infantry, the fearsome 71st Highlanders, lose their formation. They become a mob, a pack of wolves chasing wounded prey. They sprint forward, bayonets thirsty, screaming their war cries. They rush past the militia, straight up the hill, expecting to find the backs of fleeing men. Instead, they find a stone wall of Continental regulars. The Marylanders and Delaware men are waiting, calm, silent. The British are 30 yards away, 20 yards, 10. "Face about!" Herward shouts. The Continentals spin, their muskets level. A wall of fire erupts into the faces of the British charge. The shock is physical. The British line stops dead, shattered by the volley. "Charge bayonets!" The Americans surge forward. They plunge into the smoke. And then, the masterstroke. From the right, Washington's cavalry smashes into the British flank. From the left, the militia, the men who supposedly fled, return to the fight, slamming into the British side. It is a double envelopment, the perfect tactical miracle. The British throw down their guns. The Highlanders, the bravest men in the King's army, weep as they surrender. Tarleton, the butcher, turns his horse and runs like a coward, leaving his men to rot. In 1 hour, the myth of British invincibility is broken. The flying army has clipped the wings of the empire. The sun rises fully now, shining on a field not of slaughter, but of victory. Liberty has won the day at the Cowpens.